What's up guys, welcome back to my channel for another custom 1/12 scale action figure review. If you're new to my channel, my goal is to have the perfect 1/12 version of each of my favorite characters. Today we're going to be taking a look at my custom Rogue One Darth Vader. As should be clear from the packaging, this base figure was the Mafex Darth Vader Rogue One number 45. But I have modified the packaging to be more collector friendly. This fits much more easily into my storage tote than does the full-size Mafex box. So if you're interested in how to do this type of Mafex packaging, you can check out my box mod tutorial. And here is Darth Vader out of the packaging along with everything he comes with. He includes an array of extra hands, an unmasked head sculpt, a lightsaber, and a lightsaber hilt. To make this version of Darth Vader, I used parts from the Mafex, dismantled that whole figure, and put the parts on a new base body with a custom cloth goods suit, cape, and robes. The base body is a Notaman slim wide body. To get both of these head sculpts to work on the body, I drilled out a hole big enough for this neck in both of these head sculpts. So they simply just pop onto the neck. In terms of articulation, you get a little bit of head tilt, but because of all of the layers, it's hard to get him to look down in that kind of menacing pose. But overall, I think this was the best solution because it allows me to easily swap between the masked and unmasked head sculpts. This one is a little bit smaller, so I have to turn the neck to get this guy to fit on. And taking a closer look at the unmasked head sculpt, this is the Darth Vader head sculpt that came with the SHF Luke Skywalker, and I modded it in order to work on the Notaman neck. I also modified the dome so that it would be a little bit harder to take off because it was very loose before, but you can take off the dome and see Darth Vader's unmasked head underneath there. Part of the process for drilling out that huge hole kind of left some of this nasty looking plastic down there at the corner, but most of the time that is not going to be visible. The cape is a draped cape that I made from a shirt that I found at the thrift store. I'll show you what it looks like when it's fully off the figure. This is the easiest cape template that there is. You just make a semicircle and make it so that it's twice the height of the shoulders of the figure. The chest armor is glued right here and also to the underrobes right here and right here. Stays pretty secure. One problem I have is that the shoulders tend to flare up. I wish they would kind of stay down like that, but I haven't really figured out a good way to make sure that they stay down other than having the cape on, which tends to help with that. For the codpiece, I literally just glued it right here, and so it stays on the pants, and the belt and the codpiece are separated. For his control box, I had to sand down the back of it because there were a lot of ledges and lips. So I sanded that down, and I added these black elastic straps. These run all the way around his torso and make it so that this is free floating, and you can kind of adjust it according to how you want to pose him. For the gloves, I'll take these spats off to show you how this works. So these are actually the original gloves of the Mafex, and I drilled them out and hollowed them out so that they would work as kind of spats to go over the sleeves. I glued the sleeves in place, and now these just slide over top of it. And I also swapped out the Notaman joints for these Mafex joints. They happen to work pretty well in that little hole, and that means I didn't have to modify all of these hands to work with the Notaman pegs. And if you want to have the joint a little bit more exposed to get a little more range of motion, they're black and they blend in a lot better than the Notaman joints would. For the legs, it was a process of drilling out these Mafex lower legs and then sanding down the Notaman legs and cutting them to a specific length, gluing the pants to the legs so that they wouldn't ride up, and getting the thickness of all of that just right so that these can slide onto the lower legs. I haven't glued them yet because I wanted to show you guys how that works, but I will eventually glue those in place. Going over articulation, as I mentioned before, the neck allows for some swivel, a little bit of tilt, and a little bit of forward. a little bit of back, but it does expose that flesh-colored neck, which is a little bit unsightly, but it's mitigated when the cape is on. Like I said, he is on a no-demand body, so he gets some pretty decent articulation. His arms can move up to there. He can also rotate forward. A little bit hindered by that suit. With that double elbow joint, his arms can move all the way up like that. At the waist, you can get a decent ab crunch. I'm not really going to use this much with Darth Vader, but you can get that degree of motion. At the hips, his legs can move forward pretty much all the way, and his knees can bend all the way as well. Apart from fists, he comes with these expressive pointing hands, open relaxed hands, expressive force-wielding hands, lightsaber gripping hands, and lightsaber supporting hands. For scale, here he is compared to my custom Luke Skywalker, which is the same size as the SH Figuarts, and a standard Black Series Stormtrooper. Darth Vader stands at approximately 6.5 inches tall. And that will wrap up this review of my custom Darth Vader. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this figure and think it might be the perfect 1/12 Darth Vader, consider giving this video a like, subscribing to my channel, checking me out on Instagram, and I will catch you in the next video.